Hello everybody, it's Brian for GadgetUnit.com and it's time for episode 91 of my question and answer series. We only have two questions here, so this should be a very short video. From Lewis Robles, do you think an internal component is going to matter in the future, or is it going to be about the software? I think we're sort of on the edge of things being more about the software rather than the hardware. So for instance, in a lot of today's flagship smartphones, it really comes down to the software features rather than the hardware that you're going to get. Yeah, people still look at the processor, the internal storage, and the camera, but I think that these things are slowly fading away to where software performance and those types of things are going to outweigh actual hardware performance. And I think that's been the case with the iPhone for quite a while. Yeah, it has a dual-core processor, and the camera hasn't really improved too much since the 4S, keeping still a 8-megapixel sensor and 1080p video capture. But I think that for Apple's iPhones, it really comes down to software more than hardware. So I think that we will eventually get to a point where software is going to be far more important and more sort of paid attention to than anything else. Lastly, from Cool Tiger Dude, can you recommend a high-end performance laptop that is not a Mac? Also, can you give your thoughts on Dell Laptops? First, I'll start with the Dell Laptops, and really they aren't that bad. They do have their own high-end Alienware line of laptops, so if you do want a high-end computer, Alienware is a pretty safe way to go. They're a little bit more expensive than the competitors, but you do get a pretty solid computer for your money. But in regard to normal Dell laptops, they aren't that bad. I mean, they have computers for all types of price ranges, from $150 to a couple $1,000. So they're not that bad. I mean, Windows laptops are Windows laptops. They can only be so good. A lot of Dell's computers now have touchscreens, so if that's something you want, then they have that covered. So to answer your first question about high-end performance laptop that is not a Mac, I think that MSI's new GS70 and GS60 laptops are the ones to take a look at, because they're ultra thin, but they're still ultra fast. They have a high-end quad-core processor, high-end NVIDIA graphics, an actual 1TB hard drive in addition to a dedicated solid-state drive, plenty of RAM, and everything else you would want. Nice LED backlit keyboard. Like I said, it's a thin yet still sleek looking design. They're a bit pricey, upwards of almost in the $2,000 range, but it is a high-end laptop. It is pretty thin and it looks pretty good as well. So these new laptops by MSI are the ones that I would take a look at and recommend. They have a 17-inch model, which is the GS70, and the 15-inch is the GS60. As you can see, they're both less than an inch thick, which is nice to see. So if you have the money to spend, I think that this would be the one to take a look at. And that concludes episode 91 of my question and answer series. Tune in next week for episode 92, of course. If you have any questions that you would like me to try and answer, leave those down below. But that's it with the video. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you all very soon.